in the gangster majors before, you know what I'm saying? I didn't get my first charge was a robbery charge, you know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just like,
every case that come at me, I'm gonna bring it to you. You officially my employee of the month. Tell me when to show up. Really, you will be on top of me. Me get stepped over. Those are them. Harder to tell you. It's been handled. I'm gonna have so much fun killing you.
Now, today we're going to be going through all the exclusive images and clips for episode 7. It's an episode where alliances will no doubt shift, especially after what we saw in episode 6. We're going to be seeing some unlikely alliances form, relationships have changed, some for the good, some for the bad, and I do think it is time to raise the stakes. Gary Leonard teased that some of these characters will be losing out in each triangle, so with these shifting alliances, the flip of the chessboard as I like to call it when we get to around the halfway point of any power season, it's time for those characters to be pushed out of those triangles. I've been talking about a potential alliance with Tommy and Shanti for a very long time. We've been speaking about it over the past couple of weeks on this channel, and that's what I do think we'll start to see form in episode 7. Tommy continues to press Stacey marks, there's a whole Maria and the baby storyline, we know Vic has started to make moves of his own already, and then there's also the main event, the vote with the coalition and Tommy versus Diamond. Tommy being forced out of CBI. So, as usual, we are going to be running through a quick preview for all things episode 7. But first up, let's take a look at the title and synopsis. Now, the title for episode 7 is Lines in the Sand, and the synopsis reads, while some relationships are mended, other brewing tensions reach boiling point, setting the stage for unlikely alliances. Now, I do think there's only one place to start, and that's the vote with the coalition. In episode 6, we saw Janard and Diamond making a move of their own behind Tommy's back. That was with Madame Wu and Fentanyl. Diamond said they were going to put it to a vote with the coalition in episode 7, which we are going to see at some point, which will no doubt give Tommy pretty much no say in the matter. So we're going to see that vote in episode 7, we're going to see the coalition most likely probably say yeah to running Fentanyl, and that's what's going to start the beef between Tommy and Diamond. The vote, along with everything that's been brewing in the background slowly between them from season 3 and also in season 2, it is going to come to a head in episode 7. We've also got Janard in the barbershop basement. No doubt he's going to continue to whisper in Diamond's ear that Tommy's this, Tommy's that, do we really need Tommy? Maybe even goes as far as to saying they don't need Tommy full stop. They don't need Tommy and they don't need Che if they're getting fentanyl from Madame Wu. Janard will definitely be doing Janard things and saying Janard things in episode 7, as he always will, and that will only aggravate Diamond even more, which will all then lead to this particular moment, Tommy versus Diamond. We're honestly in for a crazy insane scene. We've got Bones, Janard, D-Mac and Marshall, they're going to be watching on in the background. I don't think it's just going to be the fentanyl issue that makes Tommy and Diamond kick off. Like I mentioned before, I do think it is a combination of things which has been building for a very long time, and then we're going to see them get into it. We're going to see this fight between Tommy and Diamond. We've seen this scene where Tommy gets put through the table, and where Janard then tells him that he can't wait to kill him. It's going to be an insane scene. It's going to be a real insane ending to episode 7. It's going to be the moment where Tommy is finally forced out of CBI, where he then becomes that lone wolf. Now, we've also got Tommy and Stacey Marks. We know Tommy's got Stacey Marks in his back pocket at this moment in time. He's got her right where he wants her. But you can tell Stacey Marks absolutely hates it. She hates the fact that Tommy was able to turn the tables on her, where he's the one who now has the power and control. And I do think with what happens with Tommy and Diamond, he does need to keep Stacey Marks in his back pocket. But I really do wonder what actually happens with Stacey Marks. I mentioned earlier this week that Tommy is slowly starting to become isolated. They're slowly starting to take things away from him, such as his coalition, his organization. At some point, we also all expect JP to bite the dust as well. They're also going to take that away from him. What if they were to take this away from Tommy as well? Where would that leave him? Where would that actually also leave Stacey Marks? Because Tommy's actually the one who's giving wins to Stacey Marks, and he's actually funneling cash through Pageant Inc. towards her campaign. Gary Leonard did tease Pride Season 3 we're going to see a loser in each triangle. Well, I do think we're probably getting closer to that moment where we are going to start to see a loser in this particular triangle. But with Stacey Marks, she's going to have to put on a brave face, give another speech, which, going by the last few, I probably wouldn't be surprised if this turned out to be her last. Now, with Tommy and Shanti, we've been talking about Tommy and Shanti potentially creating an alliance for the past couple of weeks, because honestly, you could just kind of sense it. You could feel it. With the direction they were taking Janard and Shanti's relationship, with the direction they were taking Tommy, Diamond, and the CBI's relationship, it just makes sense for them to come and work together, because all of a sudden, their interests do start to align, especially more so after episode 7. We're going to see Janard and Shanti's relationship basically reach the point of no return. Not only did Janard go and see Che without Shanti in episode 5, he also made a deal with Madame Wu and the Chinese with Diamond as well. So it's pretty much over for Janard and Shanti. We're going to see her taking a baseball bat to Janard's car, and now the question really is, what's her next move? Is a partnership with Tommy really a long-term solution? Or is it impossible based on what we know about Shanti? She's someone who's been plotting and scheming to get rid of Tommy in the background, which was actually when he was the head of this coalition. I guess that will no longer be the case after episode 7, but because of who Shanti is, what she's been saying in the background, because of what we've seen and what she's shown us, I do personally think Tommy needs to be very careful around Shanti. Because if she does get the opportunity to rise to power at the expense of Tommy, best believe she's a character that will probably take that opportunity. Or does she see a partnership with Tommy as her best option going forward? Either way, I do think Tommy does need to be very careful. He can't trust Shanti 100%, but no doubt we're going to start seeing these alliances form come episode 7.
Oh yeah.
You only have so much time. So feed Science Diet with our clinically proven antioxidant blend, helping pets live healthier as long as possible.
Nope.
Because you're only human, there's Hills.
If you found out we were alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you?
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Let's. Today is. Today's.
People have a right to know the truth. It belongs to 7 billion people.
What is it?
You don't believe me if I told you. So I'm gonna show you.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world. All at once.
Now with Big Flynn, we've got him in conversation with Bolo. I was also having a look at both of these scenes.
AI study it, AI already studying it because everybody catalog is online already.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no other way to get your music out. That's why they limit it. It's like really no real physical sales no more.
Right.
It's all digital.
Right.
And if your music is online, then AI got access to it and can study it, can study that. And
that's why Suno AI just did a deal with Universal Music Group because licensing deals. So now Universal's getting bread from Suno AI because Suno AI has been using all this everybody's shit to learn, and there's lawsuits out there that could actually happen because it's happening. You know what I mean? So that's why they're giving licensing agreements though so now Suno AI has a licensing agreement with Universal, but are the artists getting any of that shit? What's going on with any of that? And they got a huge catalog.
you know, they figure out the label first, the artist is the last.
The last,
We're not
yeah.
gonna think about the artist first. You need to figure out what we do.
What we do, yeah, we got to get our bread first. So now I know Suno AI. Now they got money.
Mm-hmm.
So and they're
Like that with the ringtones. Like I remember having to link to my 2-step on my next to LA.
I was talking about, I had so many Cassidy ringtones.
Word. No,
AM to the PM.
AM to the PM, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think I like the technology and even AI, whatever, if you could use it the right way to be creative
Right.
and be original.
it's a tool.
But I think a lot of people just using it, like I said, to be lazy,
To be
to
lazy.
not do nothing. This can do all the work for me. I don't have to do nothing. I could just present something and benefit from it some way. And I don't think that's not the good way to use it.
It's gonna
I will
be like more poet.
I will say every time I hear like a Rage Against the Machine record, that's a soul record now, or like a fucking you know what I mean? You just hear all these different versions of old songs turn new with an AI. Like some of them.
Or they turn a Fetty Wap song into a 1940s record.
Yeah, some of them are great. I'm like, yo, that shit is pretty fucking dope. And then some of them are like, yo, you could hear it, but it's like hit or miss. How do you feel about that? Like remakes of contemporary records, like a 50 Cent record that's like a soul
I'm
record.
against anything that's AI. Like music. Like I'm not a fan. Like soon as I know it got anything to do with AI, it's AI. I don't really like it. The only thing that I like, kind of like from AI right now, I accept. If you got an idea, and like you could like Round Browse, like he like sampling AI into the beat.
Yeah,
it's like kind of like a sample.
Yeah, that's what I
Or
was
even
doing.
if you had a sample, but you couldn't really get to the sample, or there's no way to like, it's too much going on in the sample, and you want to use it like that.
Use AI to strip
even
out
come
all
out
the
with your
noise and
own
shit.
idea. Where AI could say it in a way to where you could sample it and make like it.
Where it's like a
creative
tool.
with it.
Where it's like using it like a nail gun instead of a fucking
But
screwdriver.
just going, but some people got the power and they're just like, yo, I want a beat that go boom boom chat, boom 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 chat, boom boom chat, boom 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 chat, and they'll tell AI that, and then AI hear that, and then just make a whole beat, and then they be like, yo, I made this fire ass beat, yo, this shit crazy, yo, with AI made this fire ass beat, and they'll play it like they made the beat, and it's like, yo.
It's lazy.
I don't like it like that. Like that's not it, bro. Or you say, yo, I want to rhyme about, you know what I'm saying, getting money, having the best cars and all these clothes and pictures, and then the AI just write you some rap and you like, yo, this is my rap, and you go rap it. No, I don't like that. That's not.
There's a lot of it going on right now too.
I don't like that, man.
Nah, fuck that.
Didn't the Playboy Cardi
They
record?
use that shit when they write a paper.
Yeah.
Like then they rewrite it, but
Everybody starts with an AI.
They're using that AI to do their.
Was the Playboy Cardi record pulled from Grammy consideration because it had a bunch of pieces of AI?
Bunch of AI on it.
Yeah. Like as far as I think it was his vocal.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. That's what Josiah told me too before I even heard the Grammy story.
People sites don't want to pay people if you're gonna take an AI and just make a whole AI song and not be creative and then put it up on the streaming platform and then people start streaming and then they think you're gonna get paid.
Crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy. It's like whatever.
It's a nutty time. That's why the essence is. That's why bars is back. When it's so much unauthentic, the authentic
shit rises to the top. That's a fact.
Last thing on the battle rap, then we get into the next. Have you ever thought about making your own league?
Yeah, I think about it every day. But
I feel
it's stressful. Take a lot of time.
Sure.
And it could drive you crazy. Like I got personal relationships with a lot of league owners. Beasley, Smack, ARP, like the biggest league owners. And this is just a hard job, bro. And even the benefit financially is not as good as people think. Like you can take a lot of losses and you might not even get as much money as you expect. And it's difficult dealing with battle rap, especially at that level. It could be a lot of problems that can make your business go wrong. And I know my mentality. I think I would be way more frustrated than the league owners I know. Like, I think you gotta have patience and be like, and I don't think I got that, especially dealing with my money and the way I am, and plus how prepared I'll be. So if I'm Cassidy and I put in all this time and I don't choke and I be prepared and I be ready and I'm dealing with somebody that's not, that would be frustrating to me.
Understood.
So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do it to where I won't be frustrated and where I can still help help the coach out.
Yep.
But I'm still in it now, so even with other people setting up battles, I still be on the phone with all the battle rappers, like still doing that same thing for them to make sure that we could pick up the pace. But actually having my own league.
I love the idea of getting these iconic scenes from another angle, but we time it out to replicate the steps. So it's very choreographed, made to look very loose. That's kind of what this whole film is. What it must have felt like to be there, shooting a magical movie like Breathless. This film felt like they were all back. They were there in front of us.
Rated R.
With Smart Plus campaigns, we went from 250,000 downloads to over 1 million downloads in less than a year.
We've generated over 100,000 leads, which has converted into over 40,000 sales for our pet insurance policies.
Get started today with TikTok's Smart Plus.
TikTok insurance.
We still putting it together, so I don't want to say I will or won't. You know what I mean? I don't want to make no promises and then people like, yo, where your league? You said you was dropping one. And then I don't want to say I'm not, and then I make some idea up, and then they like, I thought you said you wasn't doing no league, and it's like, you know what I mean?
Before we move on from battle rap, I'll have one more question, because there is a lot of people love to eat up negative press, beefing, fighting, all of that type of stuff. And like, you know, with battle rap, the whole point is to go at your opponent. So from the outside looking in, people might think that it's a lot of negativity in there, but you being somebody who's been in it from the beginning, I know you spoke on like the unity that is brought to the city, and I think that that's such a beautiful, positive thing. What other positive things, like what other positive ways has battle rap affected your life?
Well, it made me Cassidy. It made me be here. It made people that I never even met be able to know who I am, respect me, appreciate me. A lot of people's lives I changed, saved people's lives, like people that's been in predicaments, listening to my bars, seeing my grind. It's like, so it's a lot of positive things that come from battling, even though it's like, you know, like you said, it be like seeming like it's negative energy, but positive stuff come from it if you true to it. I mean, a lot of people clout chasing, trying to take advantage of it, but if you're really true to being competitive, then it's going to make you the best that you could be. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. Pushing yourself to be the best version of yourself you could be. You know what I mean? But in this world, sometimes you need something to push you to do that. Even boxers, they'll be super nice, but they like, I need that fight. I need that fighter to make me take it to the next level. Like, you know what I mean? And they could be knocking everybody out easy, but still like, you know what I mean? This is easy. I just need the right fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a fact. So
you're real into boxing, right? Like, you got a boxing background?
Yeah, for sure. I love boxing. It's my favorite sport.
Who's your GOAT?
You could tell from the intro that when it was you versus you, had that boxing match. It was fighting, hitting them with the lines.
The GOAT of boxing is
it's very subjective, like who's your
it's too many weight classes, too many styles, too many times, too much. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, see, and it's funny because we were talking about with the scorecards of if we were going to start scoring battles, right? And as we're having that conversation, my mind went to boxing of like, you know,
how many hits
and misses, or like different types of punches, punch lines, rebuttals, all these different things. Do you think that if we went in that direction, that it might end up like a boxing like that? Could you see that?
Yeah, for sure. I think it can end up like all of the big sports because it's exciting. And I think it's super exciting, especially leading up to it.
I always said that.
And like I said, if we could make it more structured. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you'd start seeing people write for points and shit. You know what I mean? Like it's like hitting these skill points and really going after certain types of, you know what I mean? Really, it'd be like become a different skill.
You shouldn't be able to get the point if the shit is corny though.
Nah, it's gotta, there has to be a whole.
If it hits that shit doesn't mean like that's mad subjective even if it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that point, that's when there will become a line for what's corny and what isn't. It would have to be.
It would have to be in the whole in that judging system.
A hit or a miss.
Yeah.
You know?
There would have to be above or below.
That's the thing too, like with battle rap, see, what somebody might think is corny in Chicago You know what I mean? They might think it's super fire in Philly. Because you might say a word or say something that they don't say in Chicago. They don't really understand.
Right.
But in Philly, it's like a super thing. So when you say it,
yeah.
Philly people might think, yo, that was crazy. But somebody from somewhere else might not get it.
Might not get it.
You know what I mean? You might say something that,
Water break.
if you grew up in the hood and you grew up like in a super bad neighborhood, you could relate. But you might love hip hop and you like, yo, I ain't grow up in a super bad neighborhood. Like my neighborhood wasn't the best. It's not like I was in Beverly Hills, but I was cool. I don't know what that's about, but I still love rap. Right? So if you just doing all them type of bars, there might be a whole nother billion people in the world that love hip hop, but just don't relate to that.
Right.
And then it could be in reverse. Like, you know what I mean? Somebody could be talking about something that somebody from a nicer neighborhood that love hip hop could relate to. But another person that was in the hood that was fucked up can't relate to that. So what somebody think is corny or not is like, it's going to be difficult.
There's a spectrum.
Especially when you widen the amount of people listening. Like if it's just this group of people that's from this neighborhood, they all think similar, they all like on the same type of time, then it's different. But when there's like me involved, Cassidy, and there's a battle, now it's a wide range of people from all different places, different lifestyles, different ages that like all interested. So all of them people not gonna think the same. Like, you know what I'm saying? So how can you impress all of them people by just doing one thing all the time? That's not gonna work. So that's what a lot of people don't be taking in consideration too. Like, when I be doing battles, you see people in the comments from all different parts of the world. Somebody might be from Ghana. Like, yo, I've been listening to you since the beginning. And how can somebody from Ghana appreciate the same thing as my Russian fans? Like, they not nowhere near the same. Like, they gonna probably like me for two different reasons. But they might be both watching because they like Cassidy and they want to see this thing. So what I'm gonna do to impress the boy in Russia and then the boy in Ghana? But then I got the other female from Manchester that love me too. So what I'm gonna do? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta take all that in consideration and try to like do your best possible to please as many people as you ran into as possible. So that's why you gotta do a bunch of different stuff.
Interesting.
You working on an album right now?
Yeah, well, not necessarily an album, but working on music. Yeah, man. Working on music. Should have a project in 2026 though. I don't know if I'm gonna call it an album, but it'll be a project for sure.
Yeah, project for sure.
A lot of music, a lot of more visuals. I mean, working.
The thing I always loved about Cassidy is that, of course, you're a legendary mixtape, but you're an album artist, in my opinion. Like, all of your albums, I feel like you put a lot of thought into making a project. Like, making a full-on project. You give something to the streets, you give something to the woman, you give something to make you think and feel. And that's one thing I noticed about you. And you used to have the label called Full Surface. Is that what Full Surface meant? Or what does Full Surface mean for those that don't know?
Well, actually, when I was 17 years old, my first record deal was with Rough Riders.
Right, okay.
Rough Riders is not actually a whole record label. Like, they don't like have distribution or budgets. They just a production company that's responsible for putting the project together for the artist.
Okay.
So I signed the Rough Riders. But once you sign the Rough Riders, now you have to get a deal with a major to get released. Like, so if DMX was signed to Rough Riders, he'll have distribution through Def Jam.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or Eve like might be signed to Rough Riders and she'll have distribution through Interscope. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to get a deal to actually get money, budgets, and put your music out. So I was signed to Rough Riders when I was 17. I started working with them and I was in a group, Larceny Family, me, Kyle Akbar, and Shiz Lansky. And that's how we got in the business, started learning how to make better music, building relationships. And that's how I met Swiss. Because he was one of the main producers at Rough Riders at the time.
Did Rough Riders put the group together, or y'all were together already?
Now I put it together. I actually was a solo artist, and they was just my clique. Like you know,
Yeah.
how y'all are a team, but y'all might not be a group. But if somebody be like, "Yo, I got this opportunity for you to get your deal," you might be like, you could just go on your own and be selfish, or you might be like, "Yo, I don't even know," or you might feel like somebody beside you might even be even better. So you might be like, "Yo, we all go," like, you know what I mean? We all do our thing, whoever they like, you know what I mean? So while we was downstairs, I brought them with me. We wasn't a group yet, but I just told them like, "Yo, y'all know all my raps. I know y'all raps, like we could go in there and we could just rap like we a group. They won't know. They got the locks. We could be like a 3-man group. They'll love it, and maybe they and we just made up the group. We just made up the group right there. And we went up there. We ain't even have a name yet. We just went up in there. We just did it like we was a group. They was backing me up. And Wild from the Rough Riders, he loved it. He was like, "Yo, you gotta meet my brother D." We eventually met the brother D, but after we had the first meeting with Wild, we came downstairs and made the name Larceny up. We came up with that after that, because it's like we still in the game, we taking it over. We just created this thing and we about to just, so that's how we came with the group. But I was working with them and that's how I met Swiss. But Swiss wanted me as a solo artist. And he was gonna start his own production company, which was gonna be called originally Ride or Die Records. But it was like too similar to Rough Riders and man, so he had to switch it. And then one day we was in the studio, he was like, "Full Surface, that's the name, Full Surface." And I'm like, "Full Surface?" I don't know if I don't think I liked it when he first said it. I'm like, "Full Surface, but I was just so happy that he thought of the name and we could move forward. I'm like, "All right, Full Surface, let's get it."
Was the whole holding the progress up, trying to find the name? It was holding shit up?
Yeah. So not really actually holding it up, but it was just something that we needed to do to move forward. So when he get the name, it's like, "All right, Full Surface, let's get it. Full Surface." Like, and that's how I became Full Surface. But that's when I started, like, you know, setting up meetings and stuff like that. And I met with Clive Davis, who had J Records, which was under Sony BMG at the time. And we had a meeting with Clive Davis, and that's how I got my actual deal to release my albums that y'all know about, my singles. I got the money from J Records, and that's when I had recording budgets and was able to start recording and doing like that. And that's how we worked it out. So Full Surface was my production company, but I was actually signed to J Records, Clive Davis.
Understood.
So if you ever see the projects, you'll see Full Surface at J Records. People might not understand how it works and what goes on. Yeah, but the majors is responsible for the money, the budgets, the marketing and promotion budgets, the recording budgets, your advance, your radio budgets, even actually distributing the music or